The Finance Ministry said that the agreement in principle covers approximately $5.9 billion of outstanding public debt and consists in a mix of long-term maturity extension and reduction in interest rates. It added that the agreed-upon debt treatment terms will be further detailed and formalized in a Memorandum of Understanding between Sri Lanka and the OCC. Thereafter, it will be implemented through bilateral agreements with each OCC member in accordance with their laws and regulations. The Finance Ministry said that the Sri Lankan government looks forward to a prompt implementation of the agreed terms. The statement from the Finance Ministry said that this agreement in principle, together with the agreements in principle reached with the Exim Bank of China, goes a long way in dealing with Sri Lanka's external bilateral debt restructuring. It added that the next steps include finalizing similar agreements with Sri Lanka's remaining bilateral creditors, including Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Kuwait, Iran, together with representing further $274 million of outstanding claims. The Finance Ministry also noted that the government intends to focus on efforts on reaching comparable debt restructuring agreements with external commercial creditors, in particular with its holders of international sovereign bonds. Sri Lanka's Foreign Ministry said that the agreement will facilitate a swift approval by the IMF Executive Board of the first review of Sri Lanka's IMF-supported program, allowing for the next tranche of the IMF financing of about $334 million to be disbursed. The IMF says that Sri Lanka's debt deal with the Official Creditor Committee could help the Executive Board clear the first bailout review. The global lender said on Thursday that Sri Lanka's in-principle pact with creditor nations to restructure its debt prepares the way for the International Monetary Fund to consider clearing the first review of a bailout next month. The deal comes about a month after Sri Lanka's agreement with the Export-Import Bank of China, covering $4.2 billion of outstanding debt, while clearing the IMF review could trigger a second tranche of about $334 million in funds. Peter Brewer, IMF's mission chief for Sri Lanka, said in a statement that these understandings pave the way for the IMF Executive Board to consider completion of the first review of Sri Lanka's 4-year extended fund facility arrangement. He said that the IMF looks forward to the Executive Board taking up this review by mid-December and the continuation of our productive collaboration with Sri Lanka in the period ahead. The agreement with the group of creditor nations comes about a month after the heavily indebted island nation reached a deal with the Export-Import Bank of China, covering about $4.2 billion of outstanding debt. Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe said last week that after receiving the IMF funds, Sri Lanka could get further funding from the Asian Development Bank and the World Bank, bringing the total to around $900 million.